Welcome back, Bear Down, and I'm kind of in an irritated mood today, so if I get a little huffy puffy on this one again, just bear with me because I am so friggin' sick and tired of listening to all the commentators at the Combine acting like Caleb Williams is a Chicago Bear. I can understand the media and X and all the garbage that they're saying because they see it as a potential fit, but everything you saw in the last day, here, I'm going to read some right here. Let's just type in Justin Fields' name. Let's just type in Justin Fields and see what pops up. Justin Fields. Let's just see what pops up here. All right. Steelers in conversation to land Justin Fields, per Sports Illustrated. Justin Fields trade rumors. Bears spent most of Combine week gauging other teams. Tony Pauline, Bears and Falcons close to finalizing trade for Justin Fields. Bears should trade first pick and keep Fields. Okay, that shocks me. I'm going to be honest. Williams looks and sounds like a bust as of FS NFL Spin Zone. NFL execs believe Bears should get quality asset for Justin Fields. Bears could be close to trading Justin Fields. I'm reading headlines if you guys don't know what I'm doing. Bears could be close to trading to Atlanta. Asking price for Justin Fields could be manageable for the Bears. Adam Schefter on Falcons' interest in Justin Fields. Bears focused on drafting Caleb Williams, trading Justin Fields before NFL free agency. It's all but done. Justin Fields is gone. Guys, this is what we talked about. This is happening this time of year. I don't know how to tell you any more clearly. When this goes on day after day after day and he's not traded, what does that tell you? He's not traded by now. Well, let's look. I'm going to pull these up. Give me 1 second here. All right, let's look at some of the things that were said before. Here's the questions and answers. Well, we'll end up counting certain guys in certain spaces we'll feel will impact players in certain spaces. Being very open to the draft picks are just opportunities, right? You have to capture that and be right with your draft picks. We understand that as well. We showed these on the other video. Do you have a different mindset this year with the number 1 overall pick this year than than what you had last year at this time? No, it's unique, right? But I would say our approach is exactly the same in terms of what we need to look at every option and determine what is best for our team. Obviously, we chose to trade back last year, and that helped our team out a lot. All right, so this video is going to be based off of a prior video, actually the biggest video that I've had, guys. I did not expect it to be that way. Ryan Poles could become legendary is what it was called. And it went through the scenarios of how we could trade back with the other GMs. This one, because everyone has said, not everyone, a lot of people have said, well, look at the trade market now. The Bears might not be able to get the haul that you were thinking for. 30, 36, 40, and a future first. It's not going to happen. That's why what's happening right now is going on. Teams are afraid to get fleeced like they did last year against the Panthers. So I can tell you right now what's going on. It's not trading Justin Fields. It's that the Bears are having negotiations with the Commanders, and the Commanders are saying, we're not going to go for it. We're not going to go for giving you both of our seconds this year and a first next year. That's too rich. We can't do it. This is that. I mean, if any of you have ever taken a negotiation class in college or been in a profession where negotiation takes place, it's not, oh, here's what we need and we're going to get it. You have to go back and forth. You have to go the rounds with people, and you have to do it in a delicate and in a professional way, but also building value for it. I 100% believe Ryan Poles told Justin Fields to get on a plane and go on vacation and avoid this because he knew what was going to happen during this entire process. He knew that these morons and all these different people that think that they understand the entire process were going to say, Caleb Williams is a Chicago Bear. Caleb Williams, Chicago Bear. Caleb Williams, Chicago Bear. Hey, Romo Dunze, how would you feel about playing with Caleb Williams? Hey, Marvin Harrison Jr., how would you feel about playing with Caleb Williams? Malik Neighbors, how would you feel about playing with Caleb Williams? Cade Stover, Brock Bowers. Not asking them, how cool would it be to receive passes from an NFL vet like Justin Fields who can throw tight window throws and has one of the best deep balls in all of football? How would that be for you? That's not what's being asked. And he knew that's what was going to happen. So first of all, thank you for everyone for tuning into this. And that video getting over 30,000 views now is just crazy to me that 30,000 people have wanted to watch a video that I made. But I'm going to take that same video and I'm going to take an approach of saying, okay, what if teams aren't willing to pay an arm and a leg because they don't want to get fleeced like last year? What if Ryan Poles can't fleece teams? Does it still make sense for us to trade down away from Caleb Williams and this generational quarterback, this amazing human being that's just, he walks on water. I don't see that, guys. There's no person that is more valuable than this team. And as hyped up as we get for the NFL Combine and the NFL Draft, there's no rookie that will come onto a team and be more important than the other 52 guys on that team. Especially in a rebuild when you have at least 16 spots that need to be addressed to make it to where we're at elite caliber. Now, in the past, we've had to be able to add pieces just to have a serviceable and manageable roster. When Justin Fields first came into the league, we were taking 6th, 7th rounders like they were cotton candy and shoving them down our throat at the carnival. Now we get to be more selective. Now we don't have to make our 6th and 7th rounders part of our 53-man roster. They might end up on the practice squad. We might end up cutting them. We don't even have a 6th and 7th rounder this year because we have had better draft capital. We're in prime position, but we only have 3 prime draft picks this year. Number 1, number 9, and number 75. With that, we can build so much more value. And I showed that on this exact video that I'm taking to highlight. All right, let's look at the top 100 first. I'm going to go through it. Okay, so let's go through here. We're going to go through our mock simulation like we did on the other video, and I'm going to make this clear right here. If you're taking Caleb Williams, you're taking him at 1-1. And if you're taking Caleb Williams, you're needing a wide receiver. That is our other biggest need along with the offensive line. You're going to have to fill a ton of holes through the offensive line, through the later picks who are not as quality picks, and through free agency. So you're taking Caleb Williams at 1. You're lucky to get Rome Odunze at 9. You're not going to get him. If he's not there, you're taking Adonai Mitchell or Brian Thomas Jr. at 9. That's what's going to end up happening with the Chicago Bears. You're taking picks 1, 9, and 75 without trade downs. That's what's going to happen. So how does that compare as we go along? Well, let's go through our little scenario. Here's Adam Peters of the GM. If the Bears don't get the haul that they wanted from the Commanders, I'm going to go unrealistic the other way on this scenario. I'm going to say we're going to get basically the most limited amount we can for trading down in the first round. These are going to be things where people are going to say, oh, we didn't get nearly enough. Okay, so here's our first one. Trade with the Commanders. We're going to get their second, 36th in the second round, a 5th rounder, and next year's second round pick. That is not much different than the trade value chart. And that is not what you get when you trade out of number 1. So we're going to go extremely conservative just to prove the point of how valuable that number 1 pick is this year, and sticking with a quarterback that has proven that he's a leader and that has shown everything he can, that he has it within him if he has the right support staff and a better coaching staff around him. Why do you think they brought Shane Waldron in and not Cliff Kingsbury? They didn't bring Cliff Kingsbury in for a reason, and there's a reason Cliff Kingsbury went to Washington. But all these talking heads on NFL Network keep talking all day. Caleb Williams is going to Chicago. Oh, can you imagine Rome Odunze with Caleb Williams? I am sick and tired of it. All day long, that's all you hear about is the assumption that it's happening. I can't wait for them all to be wrong. I can't wait to listen to the shock and awe of the entire world when they see that Ryan Poles actually knows what the crap he's doing in a rebuild, and they see this team take off into the playoffs, and Justin Fields gets to be on top of that mantle. I can't wait. All right, so here's our first one. We're going to get a couple of picks this year. If we're not getting more than that, Ryan Poles is going to exact a late-round pick. That's just how this man works. So there's a minimal haul back. All right, so next we're going to trade back with the Falcons again. Here's going to be The exact scenario we had before in the other one, but this time we're going to get a little bit less. So instead of what we got before, we'll get 1/8, 243, 6, 199, and a first round pick, not future second round pick instead. This isn't much off of the trade value chart. It's not that much to trade down, but we're going to try to show just how much more this makes sense. And if you can't see it already, it already makes more sense. All right. So instead of trading back up to 5, we're going to take a wide receiver there that we need, and then with the Seahawks, we're going to trade down from 9 to 16, just like before. We're going to get 16, 76, and a future second round pick, almost straight up on the trade value chart. It's a little bit favoring us, but it's very conservative. All right, so you see on the right side what we've got total now: 1/8, 116, 236, 243, 375, 376, 6 picks in those prime first 2-day picks. 2 in the first round, 2 in the second round, 2 in the third round. Additionally, we have another first and 2 additional seconds next year. This is how Ryan Poles sets himself up for long-term sustained success. This is why he said, I'm not going to make this decision based on fear. As a GM, what's the fear he has? Everyone's talked about it. If he drafts Caleb Williams, it gives him more long-term job security. He's got at least a couple years with Caleb Williams. With Justin Fields, if his plan doesn't work this year, if we don't make it to the playoffs, he's probably fired. And he understands that I'm not going to make this decision based on fear. I'm building this team for long-term sustained success. He's said it multiple times. Okay, so in the prior video, we ended up with 1/5, 116, 236, 240, a little bit more. In this video, we're not trading back up to 5, and look what we end up with. In 2025 on the right, we'll have 2 firsts, 4 seconds, a third, a fourth, a fifth, and 2 sixths. And these picks this year where we have, I left out the 240. My bad. I didn't leave out 240. I left out 243 from Atlanta. There it is. So there's what you get for sacrificing, if you guys want to call it sacrificing, Caleb Williams. For giving Justin Fields another year with this team finally built up the way it was meant to be built up. To be able to have these 6 picks go towards quality offensive linemen, quality wide receivers, quality depth, getting this team to a point where you have a rotation where you know these guys can protect him as he throws, that he can get it out to multiple receivers and not just be stuck on one player where teams are going to double team and you have to rely on someone as ungodly good as DJ Moore is to get open and to be able to get as much as he gets every single game. DJ Moore realizes it. DJ Moore talked about how when you have another guy on the other side of him, what that could do for this team. He's talked about it multiple times. It's amazing how when you listen to the media and them talk, and the talking heads who don't know what they're talking about say that Caleb Williams is the answer, and you listen to all the players, not just on the Bears, but on other teams, what they say, and almost unanimously, they all say they should keep Justin Fields. That's what they say. Other teams realize it. Other teams see what this team is full of potential of. But our own fan base and the media squawk because we have that number 1 overall pick. Has nothing to do with Justin Fields and the progress that he's made. They bring up all this stuff. Fourth quarter, he's not the lead. He's got 8 wins, blah, blah, blah. It's all fahooey. And you know it's fahooey. As you watch him play on the field and you watch the highlight reels of him and people like Nick Bosa, who's the most feared defensive lineman in this league, talk about him that he's impossible to game plan for, and they see him as one of the best. Prior to last year, he was viewed as a top 100 player. He won't be going into this season, I can guarantee it. Look at the way they're talking about him now as a foregone conclusion that he's out of Chicago. But I can guarantee you, if he did go to Atlanta or Pittsburgh or wherever else he went, he would be a nightmare for every team that game plans for him still, and he would wreak havoc on the league still. He's not done. He's not cooked. He's 24 years old. He's right in the prime of starting to get exactly where you want him to be. So let's look at these top 100 prospects again. You take Caleb Williams there at 1. Who are you getting at 9? If Joe Alt's there, Heck, grab him in a heartbeat. I have more of a feeling it's going to be like Dallas Turner, Terrion Arnold, Olu Fashanu maybe, Jared Verse, Leatu Latu. Okay, that's fine. What are you going to do to fix the wide receiver position? So more than likely, look at number 22 down there, Brian Thomas. He's not going to last at 22. I doubt he would make it past 15 for the Colts. You got Brian Thomas there. This is obviously not a complete and accurate list. I would rather be taking a couple trade downs, and at 8, taking Rome if he's there, or if he's not, taking Joe Alt, because one of those two will be there at 8, or at 9, trading down to 13, 14, getting Jackson Powers Johnson, the true generational talent in this draft, hasn't allowed a single sack in 3 seasons in college. Sacks are only, or your pass rush ratio is only considered off of dropbacks. It's only off of pass blocking. So anybody who says he doesn't have an accurate reading because Oregon runs the ball too much, it has nothing to do with it. He's only allowed 4 pressures, period, on all dropbacks. He's allowed 0 sacks in his college career. Well, let's look more importantly at that second round. Look at the guys we might be missing out here on the second round. Adonai Mitchell, Tyler Nubin, Xavier Worthy, who just ran a 4.21. Crazy. Cam Kitchens, Tyler Nubin, Xavier Leggett, Javon Bullard, Patrick Paul, Zach Frazier. All those second rounders, and we could have 2 there between 36 and 43 by just trading back. It makes too much sense. Ryan Poles knows this. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's building value right now, and he can become legendary, not by sticking with that right there and taking a quarterback prospect that could very well be a bust. Is he a bust? I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. I know he's a little bit cocky, and he's a little too full of himself. Down on the field there, he's trying to show a certain persona, but to me, it comes off wrong. Now, I'm not going to knock the kid for having fun and being down there. This is an exciting time. This is an exciting time to be at the draft and the combine and all that. He should enjoy it. He should enjoy going 1-1. But the Bears should make sure he enjoys going 1-1 to the Commanders, to right there to Adam Peters. And you saw Adam Peters down on the field when he was interviewed saying, we'll do whatever it takes to make this team better, whether it's trade up or trade down or whatever. But it makes a whole hell of a lot more sense to be able to get this option here on the left with 43 in there. I left it out. With 43 in there, than to take Caleb Williams. That's Ryan Poles' M.O. He is not you. He is not Rich Eisen. He is not all these guys on TV being the talking heads, assuming Caleb Williams is already a Bear. He knows what it takes to put this team together and put them in the right place. He's already done it before. He's gone against the grain, and he's not afraid to take his shot without fear of the repercussions that would happen. Ryan Poles is about to become legendary, even if the Bears have to go a little more conservative. I don't see that happening. I see us milking the value out of this thing. I see it happening, getting at least this year's second pick overall, this year's second rounder, whether it's 36 or 40, and next year's first round pick. I see that happening with the Commanders. It's just a matter of time. But the longer this goes on where you don't see Justin Fields trade and you see more and more rumors about that and why it's not happening, that's the talking heads making excuses. They make these predictions. It doesn't go according to the value that they said. It doesn't go according to the way that they said, and it goes on, and they can't make sense of it, so they make more and more excuses up. And that's what happens in these scenarios. But it's just a matter of time. Just like I said before, T-minus 10 days, T-minus 8 days, T-minus 6 days, T-minus 5 days. Now it's T-minus 2 days, T-minus 1 day eventually. It's what I've said. T-minus 2 days now, guys. T-minus 2 days. And the point of that isn't the exact day, but the longer this countdown goes on and the less Justin Fields is traded, I've made the video before. If he hasn't been traded by now, why hasn't he? They're going to keep making excuses, and then they're going to keep making other excuses, and they're going to keep twisting the narrative, but none of it makes sense except the Bears are planning to stick with Justin Fields. They have been planning that all along, and that's what's going to happen. Until next time, bear down.